Hello. Once again, it's 2023, the very first day of 2023, and I hope you guys are really enjoying the first day. It's a Sunday, as per usual, bringing you this podcast. As we just recently said goodbye to 2022. And now ushering in 2023, and basically hoping you had a fruitful 2022 with all its ups and downs, sideways, and all those obstacles. But if you've made it this far, it means that you're able to really tackle those obstacles and pass through them, basically. With that said, the new year brings about a brand new start, and for 2023 you should already have your goals in line, all your strategies, and basically for me it's just a continuation of what I had started in the previous year. And for those who have New Year's resolutions should probably be focused on those right now, because the year has basically officially started, and I guess it's on for most of us on that journey, the God journey, as we obviously want to see the best version of ourselves. And so what we should do, we all know what we should be doing for this year, and we should be prepared by then. So your plans, your goals, and your strategies should be aligned and then ready to be executed, so that you can conquer 2023. And so it's here finally. And like I said, those New Year's resolutions should be put in place right now and being executed. Me personally, I do not have or do not usually put up resolutions, because I usually just continue on exactly what I started a year prior. And then most of the time my goals and most of the plans usually are done way before the next coming year. So it's mostly continuation and of sort. However, at times we usually have pending goals. We have some things that are still pending that we still have to work on. So if then you feel that this has to be completed, then that can be completed in the following year, and then we may have things that we have to discard and then just get rid of them. Not everything has to be a continuation of what you've always been doing. If things are not working, or some plans or goals you aren't really bringing value to you at that moment, or you think that this is not going to have much shelf life in your plans, then you can either discard them or just put them aside as pending, and then you get back to whatever it is later, because you still have 365 days. And they might seem a lot, but they usually move fast, especially when you have your goals. So it's best to usually make sure you're focused on your goals, focused on all your plans. Yeah, and since it's a new year, 2023, and in this podcast we are all about the best version, getting to the best version, the God version of you. And it goes without saying that you will obviously need a different mindset to tackle the new challenges that may come your way. Obviously, a new mindset means that you have to kind of think different, challenge yourself in different ways. Don't have the same mindset that you had in the past year or even the past few years. Unfortunately, some people still have the same sort of mindset, the same talking points, the same just the same old attitude and behaviors, and are not willing to change for the better. So in this podcast, it's all about change, because we want to see the God version of us, and it's usually not easy to do that without changing, without adopting new habits, new behaviors, and that this all obviously comes with a new set of basically a new mindset, mind that is prepared to tackle all those challenges that are coming ahead. And obviously, like I said, the mindset that you have to adopt is one that is constantly challenging itself. Getting out of your comfort zone is one way of challenging your mindset. So for it to grow, or for you to grow in general, challenges have to be undertaken, and everyone knows that you have to challenge yourself in some way, whether you take up a new sort of hobby, or you learn something, or you try your best to maybe read more, or whatever. Just challenging your mind, just as basically it's something that will help you grow. Putting tension in your mind, putting tension on yourself, and not necessarily relying on outside tension, so that you are forced to grow. Our body usually respond to all sort of stimulus, all these stimulus that are outside of us. They challenge us most of the times, whether it's through frustrations, anxiety, you're arguing with your sibling, whatever, your partner, your whatever, your boss. This is much of an outside source of stimulus. Now, at times, these sort of stimulus, they do get us out of our comfort zones. However, they don't really necessarily help us grow, because we tend to be resentful of these things. We tend to not really respond well to these, though yes, there may be some sort of growth in it, but when we do not really respond well to these sort of challenges, then we may miss the whole point of the stimulus of these activities. But when we set out goals and plans and that are challenging to us, for example, like you may challenge yourself to read maybe 100 books this year. That's just an example. You may challenge yourself to maybe every single day run, or maybe even every other day run maybe 2 kilometers a day, probably, or just wake up and do just a bit of exercises. Now that you're getting yourself out of your comfort zone, and you're doing this consciously. So then you are obviously, the more consistent you are, the more frequently you do this, then you're obviously challenging not only your mindset but also your body. And obviously, to grow, it's not just the mind, but also your body has to sort of toughen up. And if you really want to see the best version of yourself, then that's the best way. And that's the message that I usually have in my podcast, that you challenge both your mind and your body to toughen it up to see the best version of yourself, the God self. And 2023 will be not too different from every other year. As we grow and we challenge ourselves, then basically what will happen is that challenges and opportunities will come. And obviously, opportunities all comes after a few challenges that we've undertaken, and better opportunities come with the more challenges we undertake. So 2023 obviously won't be much different, depending on how much you challenge yourself, how much more stress you put on yourself. And I'm talking about self-inflicted stress. I'm talking about tough challenges that you put yourself into. I'm talking about things that you know that are tough for you, things you know that will challenge you in a tough way, but at the end of the day, you will succeed. Once you succeed and achieve those plans you've put in, then your growth will be exponential, and then you're able to grow even to a better version of yourself. So obviously, all this starts with the mind, and the mind has to be right, obviously, and to try and avoid as much outside stresses, things that do not really contribute but only brings harmful stress, anxiety, distress, all those things that make you anxious, But most of the time, you should realize the reason these outside stimulus that are uncomfortable are this because we are too comfortable ourselves. If the more comfortable you are with yourself, too comfortable, when you're in a comfort zone, the tougher it becomes, because life is meant to be a challenge. Life is, as much as we supposed to enjoy life, as much as we're supposed to experience and have good experiences, but that's only the half of it. So that because the contrast of that is that we have to also grow out of that space that we are usually familiar with, the space that we are too comfortable, or we get comfortable with it. Otherwise, we usually deteriorate towards regressing, and we do not want that. If you do not challenge your muscles, then your muscles will not grow. Just as much, if you do not challenge your brain, then you're not likely to grow your mindset. So 2023 should be more focused on that, and also we should remind ourselves that mistakes are going to be done. We all make mistakes in life. No one is exempt from that. No one can say he's never made a mistake. No one, just as much as no one can ever say they've never failed. All winners, all people who have seen the best version of themselves have been failures. They have made plenty of mistakes. But again, the half of it is that there's always room for improvement. Whatever undertaking you're taking, you are going through, you can always improve on that, and that's the whole basis of being the best version of yourself. Simply improving on what you have, being one step ahead of yourself, and automatically you will be ahead of whatever competition that come your way. But again, we as people going through our God journey, we challenge ourselves because we want to be the best version of ourselves. And so the main competition in this journey is us. So you want to be a better version of yourself, of who you were yesterday. In this case, you want to be a better version of yourself of who you were last year. And 2023, you should see yourself as someone who is getting better, who is improving. Even if it's just a minute, very small improvement, it doesn't matter, as long as you accumulate that. You do that in a frequent basis, and then at the end of the day, these will add up, and you eventually see something work. Something is going to give. And that's because it's the law. It's the law of nature. It's the law of time. Mother Nature gives you whatever you work with, it will multiply. She will multiply that, and Father Time will grant you enough for you, whether in a form of time itself. And then by the time, if you use your time wisely, then eventually you will be granted whatever you work for. But again, I usually say there are no shortcuts to these things. If you make the year work and stop trying to find shortcuts to your plans and your goals, stop trying to kind of skip and use trickery to get to your God version, then knowing that it takes time, it takes patience to get there, then you will be okay. I usually see some people trying to skip a few principles. For example, if you there's some people who may go to the gym and they find that they are usually growing their muscles probably very slow, and then what they end up doing is trying to use these enhancement drugs, so they grow their muscles fast. Now, I'm not here to tell people what they do or what they cannot do. However, for those who are really, really serious about real growth and are really serious of seeing the best version of themselves, they should know that there's no need for quick fixes. There's no need for enhancing yourself. There's no need to use drugs to do these things. Yes, these things may be enticing. They may be very seductive. But the end of it is that you do not really go or get anywhere with such shortcuts. They don't really fulfill you, and you do not enjoy the journey. The journey is supposed to be enjoyed, whether it's obviously there are bad times. There are times where there will be plateaus, where you think things are stagnant, where you think things are not going. That's part of the journey. That's part of you building your patience. That's part of you building your resume, where things are not going well. That's part of your story. Now, people want to skip that part and then just jump into a place where they feel they're already happy, or they want to be in a perpetual place of happiness. Now, that won't be a good story, where you're just constantly being happy, constantly high, constantly on drugs or something, you see. So, yeah, cut the bullshit away, and there are no shortcuts in this life. Anyone telling you that you can lose weight in 2-3 days or just have a magic potion to lose weight, they're selling you bullshit. And the only way is to use the natural way of doing things. Obviously, there are things like hacks you can use. There are things like cheat codes. Cheat codes aren't, you're not cheating as such. You're using your smarts, you're using your wits to get to your journey. You're using your discernment, your wisdom to get to your journey. But that's far from trying to jump the line and jump line to your success story. You cannot do that. It's just principles in life. People who try to do this usually just end up being sad and being a mockery of themselves, or creating a mockery of themselves rather. And so I think I'll stop it there, and hopefully 2023 will be fruitful for all those on their God journey, for all those who are serious on improving and growth and doing what they are passionate about, what they would want to see or live in this earth as they ascend into their godhood. So I'd like to once again wish you a very, very, very fruitful 2023, and stay the course, stay focused, and peace to the God.